this is the benchmark review. And it's going to be benchmark number 1. So it's going to be on topic 1 and topic 2. So starting off, we've got numbers that are in all different formats. Decimal, fraction, square root. So you need to change them all to the same type of problem. The best is to change them all to decimal. Because we would never change like a 2.35 into a square root or a fraction. There's no need. All right. 7/3. 7/3 is what? Improper. What's the true value of 7/3? 2 1/3. What's 2 1/3? How funny, I did this with a girl I tutored yesterday. 2 1/3. What's 1/3? If you don't know, you sit and you divide it like this on the side of your paper. 1/3. 2.3 repeated. Okay. So here's 2.3 repeated. Radical 5. All right, there's another thing. Radical 5. So you have to think of all the perfect squares that you know. You know that square root of 4 equals 2, and you know the square root of 9 equals 3. Well, the square root of 5 is right in the middle of those. So the square root of 5 is going to be approximate, and it's really close to square root of 4. So I would even guess that what could we say would be an approximate value of 2, about radical 5? 2 point what? Not 2.5, not because it's not in the middle of 4 and 9. It could be 2.25. That's very specific. It could. I was thinking like 2.1 or 2.2. 2.2 is. So this one's 2.2. And then there's 2.35. So now I can already put them in order from least to greatest. The smallest one is going to be rad 5. The next one is going to be 7/3. And then I would get 2.35. Same thing with part B. It's 16 over 9. What's the square root of 16? 4. What's the square root of 3? Oh, what's the square root of 9? 3. 1 1/3. Oh, 1 1/3 is 1.333. But it's 3 repeated. Okay. Look, 1.3 is smaller than 1.33 repeated. All right, 13 over 20. I don't know. So I go like this. 20 goes into 13. Nope. Add a decimal and a 0. 20 goes into 130. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. That's 6 times. 0.6. And then I can bring down zeros. 0.65. Wow. Super small. Now radical 2. We know that radical 4 equals 2. So radical 2 would be half of that. What's approximately half of 2? 1. So I'm going to say that rad 2 is about 1. Now I can put them in order, smallest to biggest. And then you're going to order them in the way that you see them now. 0.65 is 13 over 20. 13 over 20 is the smallest number because that's 0.65. What's the next smallest? I want new volunteers. Yeah. Radical 2? Yeah. All right, followed by. So I've already done radical 2. I've already done 13 over 20. Now I have to look at these and decide which one's smaller, which one's bigger. Is it 1.3 or 1.33? Which one's smaller? 1.3. And then my radical is 16/9. Okay, here we go. Determine if each of the following represents irrational or rational. So here we go. Sum and difference, and then product, divide, or quotient. Here's the rules for rational and irrational number. Rational times rational plus rational, rational plus or minus another rational, always equals a rational number. The sum of a rational and irrational, rational plus or minus irrational, is always irrational. Products and quotients. Rational times irrational, rational times or divided by irrational, is irrational. The product of two rational numbers is rational. A rational product or divided of an irrational equals irrational. Do you see how there's a pattern here with this? When they're the same, rational and rational, I get a rational number. If I mix it and say rational and irrational, I get an irrational answer. And then you're like, but wait, what if I don't even know what an irrational number is? What if I don't even know what a rational number is? Okay, so here we go. A rational number define them. A rational number is going to be just a normal decimal, a repeating decimal, a terminating decimal, because like it ends, Well, a terminating decimal is the same as a normal decimal. It's like 2.68. The decimal stops. That's rational. An irrational is a never-ending decimal, a weird square root, like a non-perfect square. So like I'll just say a square root that's like not a perfect square. Oh no. I'll just say a weird number that doesn't work. Like square root of 3. If I enter the square root of 3 into the calculator, it's going to be this decimal that goes on forever and ever and ever. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to put an I or an R over each of these. And then you're just going to be able to write the answer based on my purple information. So this is going to be irrational plus this is irrational. This is rational minus irrational. 4 2/3 is rational times irrational. Rational divided by Yeah, no, this is 2/9. Yeah, that's rational. Okay, so then you're able to figure out what's what. A rational plus an irrational is irrational. A rational minus a rational is rational. Rational times an irrational is irrational. Irrational divided by a rational is rational. So when they're the same, you're going to get a rational. When you switch, we got a one of each. That's irrational. All right, solving multi-step equations. I know that you guys know how to do this. I'm not going to spend the time. This is something that you can work on homework, and I'll post the answer key. Yeah, I can post the answer key, and I can also show it first thing. But I want to give you the most time possible for the benchmark. All right. Solve the multi-step equations. Great. The sum, let's do number 4. The sum of 3 consecutive integers, the sum of 3 consecutive odd integers is 39. So I'm going to do the first number, second number, and third number. Okay. So odd. How do I define odd numbers? I don't just add 1 every time I have an odd number, because when I add 1, x and x plus 1, those are consecutive in a row. If I want to do odd, how do I count odd numbers? 1, 3, 5, 7. What's happening? From 1 to 3. What am I doing? Adding 2. Every other number. And you're like, 2, that's even. No, every other number is also odd. So the first number is going to be x. And then after that, it's going to be x plus 2. And then the number after is going to be x plus 4. So the first plus the second plus the third number equals 39. X plus x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals 39. Simplify this left side. What do I get? Put the x's together. Put the 2 and the 4 together. We need to move faster, guys. Help me out here. Yeah. 3x plus 6 equals 39. And then you just solve 3x equals 33. My 3 numbers are 11, 13, and 15. Okay, I'm going to help you set up number 5. I'm going to make a little chart. You buy 2 pounds of salmon at store A and 3 pounds of salmon at store B. You paid a total of $55.25. And store A sells the salmon for 50 cents less than store B. What's the combined cost of 1 pound from store A and 1 pound from store B? 2 pounds at store A. So I'm going to do the amount times the cost equals the total. I should actually put the line right like here. So Store A, how much did I buy and how much did it cost? So how much did I buy at store A? How many pounds? You buy 2 pounds of salmon at store A. 2 pounds. 3 pounds of salmon at store B. 3. You paid a total of $55.25, and store A sells the salmon for 50 cents less. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to look at the pricing now. If store A sells the salmon for 50 cents less, then I'm going to do let X equal store B. Because then I can do X minus 50 cents for store A. So what's happening is I'm going to buy from store A and I'm going to buy from store B, and then I'm going to buy, 5 pounds is $55.25. So I'm going to set this up where you just go straight across. 2 multiplied by X minus 50 cents and 3 multiplied by X equals a grand total of $55.25. So my equation is 2x minus 2 times 50 cents is $1 plus 3x equals $55.25. 5x minus 1 equals $55.25. Add 1. 5x equals $56.25. So this x that I get is going to be the price x of store B. And so I'm dividing by 56.25. So that would be something, because I don't have a calculator, I'm going to do it on the side of my paper. 56.25 divided by 5. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 6 once. I'm already running out of room. 5 goes into 12 twice. That's 10. Subtract 10, you get 2. Bring down the 5. 5 goes into 5. $11.25. So it's $11.25 per pound at store B. So you basically look in the answer and try and find, you could also say, 50 cents less at store A. Well, if one store charges $11.25 and then that's store B, I'm going to subtract 50 cents, $10.75 at store A. So $10.75 at store A. I need more room, huh? Okay. Turn the page. Solving for X. I highly recommend that you clear the fractions. So I'll do one of these for you because they're the same method. What's the common denominator of 4 and 2? 4. Everything gets multiplied by 4. So 4 goes into 4, cancels. 2 goes into 4 twice. So I'm clearing fractions. I'm getting rid of the denominators by multiplying by the common denominator. The 4 is canceled here, so this is 1x plus 4x, 4 times x, equals negative 3 times 4 negative 12 plus 1x times 2. And then you solve for x. I'm moving on. I'm not going to spend time solving equations. You guys know how. And hey, it's multiple choice. Look at the choices, and if you don't get the answer right, plug in the answers and see which one works in the equation. If you have x equals 2, x equals 3, plug both of those into the original equation and see if it works. Check your solutions. So, solve the equation for the stated variable. X times 4 minus k equals p, 4k. So I want k to be alone. Don't distribute the x. X is multiplied by this parentheses. The easiest thing would be to divide by x. So then I only have, if I divide both sides by x, I only have 4 minus k on the other side. Equals p over x. How do I get rid of the 4? I want k alone. Okay, I can't have one person answering all the questions. Negative k equals p over x, take away 4.
Hi, good morning. Sorry.
You're on a camera, by the way.
I was going to ask, Edmund asked if you can cover first period.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, this negative in front of the k, what do I do? How do I get the negative away from in front of the k? I'm hearing from like the same two guys, but go ahead. Good, so if I have to get rid of this and this is like a negative 1, then I'm going to make both of these the opposite sign. Positive k equals negative p over x plus 4. Okay. I'm changing the signs. This positive p over x becomes negative. This negative 4 becomes positive. And that looks so bad. Solving for h here. Well, don't distribute. Once you distribute, you make things super messy. So I want you to multiply by 2 to get rid of it. Clear the fractions. 2a equals h, a plus b. And then you do what? I want h alone. I want the a plus b out of there. What do I do? No. Someone else. No. I don't want the a plus b there anymore. It's like together in this parentheses. How can I move it? It's h times a plus b. And I want to move the whole a plus b. How do I get rid of something that's multiplied? Divide. So if I take the whole a plus b, two a over a plus b equals h. All right. Solving, and it's an inequality graph on a number line. No problem. Distributive property all around. Go ahead and solve it without me. Any like terms that need to be combined, you need to combine them on the same side. Ooh. What happens? What happens? This is good stuff. What does this mean? And it's actually not equal signs, is it? Let me fix that. The 3x's are going to cancel. Here's what I have. So I, could really show minus 3x. But anyways, is negative 21 greater than or equal to 20? There's not even an x to solve for. I can't graph. You can leave your answer like this, but I also want to let you know that when the variable disappears, but there's still numbers, that's called no solution. So that's like, negative 21 is greater than or equal to 20. Infinite solutions would be if everything canceled. So it would be like the same on both sides. Everything cancels. Every number, every variable cancels. Sorry. Like 0 is less than or equal to 0. I don't know. I just don't have anything left. I don't have any numbers. Yeah.
For the no solution one, could we also write 0 is greater than or equal to 41? Or
41.
Because if you...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's fine. If you move the 21 over, yeah, okay. Compound inequality, or you're going to get 2 answers. So you're just solving. 4n is greater than 16, or so that's one equation, one inequality solved. Subtract 9 first, right? Negative 8n is greater than or equal to 16. And I'm going to divide by negative 8. Ding, ding, ding. Something happens. What happens when I divide by a negative? Yeah. The inequality symbol switches. And it's going to be negative 2. And when I graph that, it's an or one way or another. Remember my song? So when I graph on an inequality, I'm going to say that it's going to be n is greater than. Ooh, is that an open circle or closed circle? Less than, greater than is an open circle. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to is a closed circle. N is greater than 4. Open circle at 4, greater. Bigger to the right. Or, it better go in the opposite direction. N is less than or equal to negative 2. Is that an open or closed circle? Closed circle, less than. All right, writing a compound inequality. We did a whole worksheet on this. By the way, these are both open circles. The photocopy is tricky. So I'm at negative 9 and it's an open circle. It goes to the right. That means greater than. Greater than, open circle at negative 9. So I could just say whatever variable I want, x, I guess. X is greater than negative 9. And because they go towards each other, it's what? Negative 2. X is less than negative 2. Both open circles. This closed circle right here is what? Negative 3. It's a closed circle going to the left. What does that mean? Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to? Less than or equal to negative 3. Or, is this all coming back to you guys? Greater than or equal to 2. All right. Graphing. Well, absolute value, hold on. Writing equations of lines, let me see. All right. Absolute value means that I split it into two. So I have in my same, and then I have my negative on the right. Remember that? N plus 2 equals 6, and n plus 2 equals negative 6. And you're going to get two answers. I'm jumping to number 12. Number 12 has lots going on. Isolate the absolute value. So add or subtract first, and then multiply or divide. That means get rid of the 8 first. Don't distribute the 4. This is not a parentheses. So I added or subtracted first, and then I divided by 4. So now I'm going to divide by 4. 6 minus 2a is less than or equal to 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then I split it. Okay. On the inequality, 6 minus 2a is less than or equal to 4, the same. And then 6 minus 2a is greater than or equal to negative 4. So I solve those. Watch out for the negative 2 that you have to divide. Jumping on to 13. You guys know how to graph these. We just did a whole worksheet on it 2 days ago. Easy. It's negative 2 over positive 1. Begin at 4. So this is starting chapter 2. Graphing starts chapter 2. Everybody with me? It's important. Okay. What is the equation of the line that passes through the points 3, 4, and 5, 8? So, find slope. Pick a point. Use y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And then change to y equals mx plus b. Good. The slope is 8 minus 4 over 5 minus 3. Y minus y over x minus x. 4 over 2. 2. Slope is 2. And then I'm going to pick the easiest point. I think 3, 4 is the easiest point, personally. So, point slope form. Y minus 4 equals 2 x minus 3, or x. Anyways. So now then I change it to y equals mx plus b. Remember this? Y minus 4 equals 2x minus 6. Y equals 2x minus 2. Graphing. You can always go back and watch this video. Erica must read 60 books in a year. She reads 3 books each month. Write an equation to represent the number of books Erica still has to read after X months. So she's going to read 60 after X months. So she reads 3 books every month. So I can do 60 books in a year and 3 books every month after X months. So I don't know how many months, but I know she reads 3 every month. So it can be something like, I can do, I want to caution you, after X months, she's read 3. 60, I'm thinking I'm going to do this. 60 minus 3x. Because she's going to start with 60 books, and every book, she's through 3. Take away 3, take away 3. It's this after X months that really is something to pay attention to. For which values of a, b, and c will ax plus by equals c be a vertical line through the point 5, 2? You guys, let's just draw it. If I'm supposed to get through 5, negative 2, and it's supposed to be a vertical line, what is the equation of this vertical line? The red line, what is the equation of that? Yeah, x equals 5. And so now that's the only equation that will be that red line. If x equals 5, and it's asking me to put it in standard form, I can't. It would basically be, for x to be 5, I could do 1x plus 0y equals 5. That's literally how you would do it. I don't have any other equation except x equals 5. And if I have to put it in standard form, you don't have a y value, which means you put a 0 in front of the y. And then when I simplify that, I get 1x equals 5. X equals 5. But the question says, what are the values of a, b, and c? A equals 1. B equals 0. C equals 5. And that's what you would write down as your answers. You must read directions. You must know what the question is asking. These last ones, let me just go through the easy ones. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular, opposite, reciprocal. Okay, we did problems like this on homework. Like number 19 I'm talking about. I want you to remember that my slope is negative a over b in standard form. So negative 3 over 1 is my slope of this, a, b. So these two, 1/3 and negative 3, those are perpendicular. Do you remember how I taught you this? The slope is negative a over b. Or you could just change it to y equals mx plus b if you don't want to remember my trick. You can change it to y equals mx plus b. This slope, negative a over b, negative 2 over 4, negative 1/2. Those are the same. Negative 1/2, negative 1/2, same slope. Those are parallel. Or just change them both to y equals mx plus b. Let's see. What are the x-intercepts and y-intercepts? Remember, plug in 0. A lot of people miss this. You didn't show your work properly. Your x-intercept. Plug in 0 for y. 6x minus 4 times 0 equals 24. For my y-intercept, I plug in 0 for x. 6 times 0 minus 4y equals 24. Do you remember this? So I'm just solving for the variable that's still there. I ended up solving for x, and I got that x is 4. And then I ended up solving for y, and I got y was negative 6. On number 17, what's the slope? Rise what, run what? Rise what, run what? On number 17, find the slope. It's 1. And then it says, use the point negative 3, 2. Write an equation in point slope form. Awesome. The point is negative 3, 2. My slope is 1. Y minus y1, y minus 2 equals m x minus x1. Careful. Number 17. Y minus 2 equals 1x plus 3. Number 20, what is the y-intercept? I can't believe we're actually getting through this. Very good. Distribute. Y plus 3 equals negative 4x. Ooh, plus 4 times 5 halves. 10. Nice. And then I subtract 3. Put it in slope-intercept form because that's the only way you can easily find the y-intercept when you have point slope form. So, your job, just finish the last couple, but there's not very many that I left blank. So, good job today. You're taking a test just like this tomorrow.